You are the one. The United States Congress is said to have secretly adopted a mandate that has the potential to establish XRP as a vital component of the digital monetary infrastructure of the United States. This information comes from a number of different sources. It is possible that the regulations that govern digital banking in the United States will be modified as a consequence of this move, which has the ability to rewrite those regulations. The public narrative is centered on general digital asset regulation and discussions surrounding the digital dollar project that is being carried out by the Federal Reserve. However, insiders claim that subtle phrasing referencing XRP was inserted in official hearing transcripts and legislative drafts. This is despite the fact that the public narrative is centered on these topics. Despite the fact that the public narrative was centered on the digital dollar initiative, this is the case. According to whistleblowers from within the congressional committees that are responsible for regulating banking reform and fintech, these lines were purposely meant to enable the use of XRP as the settlement layer for a digital dollar that is mandated by the federal government. This was the intention behind the lines. The regulatory control of the financial technology industry falls within the purview of several committees, aside from the fact that this is a question of guesswork, that the move has drawn support from both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, which constitutes a historic convergence of political will in favor of a single digital asset, has been referenced by a variety of sites with the objective of demonstrating that the move has been effective. The session in question, which was reportedly organized to investigate the possibilities of digital currencies issued by central banks and the future of payments infrastructure, has now been characterized by those who are knowledgeable about the situation as the point at which policy and cryptocurrencies came into contact with one another. The session in question. The people who are already familiar with the situation were the ones who managed to make this finding. At the same time that members of Congress were discussing the potential advantages of a digital dollar, Ripple's XRP was being covertly discussed in internal memoranda, feasibility studies, and compliance assessments. This was taking place at the same time. There is a widespread belief that the documents in question provide a synopsis of the benefits that are associated with the utilization of the blockchain network of XRP as the settlement backbone. There are a number of benefits that fall under this category, some of which include the speed of the network, the low transaction costs, the regulatory alignment, and the existing track record with banks and other financial institutions. XRP is currently being positioned as a legally recognized infrastructure layer that is capable of supporting high-volume liquidity movements for the federal government, as well as interbank transfers, cross-border remittances, and other transactions that are comparable to these sorts of activities. This is a remarkable turnaround in the situation, especially considering that it was previously considered to be a technology that was based on speculation. It is highly likely that the most surprising aspect of this discovery is the fact that support comes from both of the major parties. There is a chance that this will occur. It has been claimed that members of Congress belonging to both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have reached a consensus regarding the importance of a digital currency that is not only scalable but also secure and efficient. This information comes from individuals who are aware of the situation. The fact that these members of Parliament have voiced their support for XRP as the default settlement method has been brought to light during the debates that took place behind closed doors of the Parliament. It has been claimed by them that the only viable option for the creation of a national digital currency is XRP. This is due to the fact that XRP possesses special attributes that make it the only plausible alternative. Although the statements that Congress made to the public stressed supervision, consumer protection, and technological neutrality, it is believed that the underlying documents formalized XRP as the backbone for execution. This is the case despite the fact that the majority of the statements were made by Congress. It is thought that XRP will serve as the foundation for the implementation. According to many who are aware of the situation, this law has the potential to completely modify the regulatory recognition, adoption, and price dynamics of the token almost soon after it is implemented. This is the law that has the capacity to do so. The judgment is supported by support in addition to being supported by a sound economic rationale, which is also supported by support. If Congress in the United States were to mandate the use of XRP as the settlement layer for the digital dollar, it would immediately boost institutional demand in the cryptocurrency market on a scale that was previously imagined. This would be a significant breakthrough for the cryptocurrency industry. When it comes to liquidity, it is possible that government transactions alone might require billions of XRP worth of supply. This would result in a reduction in the quantity of XRP that is available on public exchanges, which would, in turn, cause the price of the cryptocurrency to increase. To add insult to injury, the token already has a connection with international payment networks, which places it in a position to be an ideal bridge between domestic and international settlements. This is a situation that would cause the token to be an ideal bridge. Contributing to the enhancement of the token's fundamental value proposition is the token's dual utility, which operates both as a domestic settlement instrument and as a bridge asset for worldwide transactions. This dual utility allows the token to serve in both of these capacities. And further advantage is that this dual utility provides a framework for market activity that is worth multiple billions of dollars. This is an additional benefit. In addition, people who are aware of the situation make reference to the language in the mandate that lays an emphasis on interoperability, efficiency, and stability that is included in the mandate. At first look, these concepts may appear to be general. Nevertheless, with closer inspection, it becomes clear that they are, in fact, a good fit with the design and operational characteristics of XRP. As a result of the decision made by the government to use XRP as the federal settlement layer, the digital dollar will be able to communicate with other CBDCs, legacy banking infrastructure, and global financial institutions without facing any problems. This will be possible because of the option that was made. XRP has successfully established itself as the official connective tissue for the ecosystem of the digital dollar. This is due to the fact that it is both open and very fast, and it is also aligned with regulatory standards. This is because it is a decentralized digital money, which is the reason for this consequence. This modification to the policy is not a simple one when seen from the perspective of merely pragmatic considerations. In the context of the national level, it serves as the basis for a brand new monetary system that is being developed. In the event that we are being completely honest, the ramifications for holders and investors are absolutely mind-boggling. It has been stated by a number of different sources that the instruction has resulted in the establishment of a de facto acquisition objective for XRP at a price level of $10,000. Note that this price level is a reflection of the potential worth of the token when it is scaled to satisfy national and international liquidity needs. This is a key point to keep in mind. The institutional demand that would be generated just by congressional endorsement would present a floor for valuation that, to tell you the truth, very few other crypto assets could ever be able to match. This floor would be provided by the congressional endorsement. Having said that, this is in spite of the fact that the conditions of the market will automatically adapt to new circumstances. On the other hand, there are analysts who are keeping an eye on the narrative, and they have proposed that this is the single most significant government-driven trigger in the entire history of Bitcoin. The legislative package in question incorporates both the legitimacy of the legislation and the practical need for it, and it does so within the context of a single comprehensive package. The narrative of support from both parties is extremely crucial throughout the entirety of the procedure. If I may tell you the truth, one indication of a widespread awareness of the need for digital infrastructure that is both scalable and compliant is the existence of a clandestine coalition that is centered around XRP. Given that political polarization is currently the most widely discussed topic in the media, this is an especially pertinent point to consider. Some people who are familiar with the situation have said that the plan was devised with the intention of maximizing its efficiency by appealing to both parties. This assertion has been taken into consideration. On the other hand, the Democratic Party advocated for modernism, financial inclusiveness, and innovation, but the Republican Party placed a substantial emphasis on efficiency, competition, and maintaining you. It is said that the so-called hidden XRP clauses include references to settlement protocols, escrow mechanisms,